When was the last time you found peace amidst the chatter of the world?
Close your eyes and search for that moment. A fleeting second when the hum of opinions, the sting of judgments, the clamor of demands faded, and you heard your own truth, clear and unshaken. Was it a quiet morning, a walk alone, a breath where you felt whole? Or is it a stranger, a memory so distant it feels like a dream? Most of us live submerged in noise, the endless scroll of social media, the weight of others' expectations, the buzz of voices telling us who to be. We're drowning, aren't we, in a sea of chatter that pulls us from our center? So let me ask you again, are you drowning in the noise, and what's it stealing from you? The constant noise of others' words, wants, and judgments isn't just a distraction. It's a thief, robbing you of clarity, peace, and the life you're meant to live. You've felt it, haven't you? The way their opinions worm into your thoughts, the way their demands hijack your time, the way their voices drown out your own until you're not sure what you believe anymore. You're not just hearing noise, you're carrying it, letting it shape your choices, your mood, your soul. It's not innocent, it's invasive, a relentless tide that erodes your calm and leaves you grasping for a shore you can't find. The world doesn't want your peace, it wants your attention, your compliance, your surrender. Why do you keep giving it? Let me tell you about Jamal. He was 31, a marketing assistant with a knack for pleasing everyone. His boss's critiques, his friends' hot takes, his family's advice on what's best. Social media was his shadow. Every post, every comment, every like weighed on him. A chorus telling him he wasn't enough, not successful, not witty, not right. Jamal tried to keep up, tweaking his life to match their noise. New clothes, new opinions, new plans to prove he fit. But late at night, scrolling through another feed, he felt it. A hollow ache, a sense that he'd lost himself. One day, his co-worker's snide remark about his work hit hard. Instead of arguing, Jamal walked away, deleted his apps, and spent the weekend alone. In the silence, he found a spark, his own thoughts untainted. He started ignoring the chatter, and slowly his peace returned. Does that echo in you? Have you lost yourself to their noise too? You've felt it, haven't you? The weight of their words, pulling you away from your own peace. You know the moments, when a friend's judgment stings, when a stranger's post sparks doubt, when the world's endless opinions leave you second-guessing your truth. You've been the listener, the follower, the one who adjusts to fit their noise, because that's what we do, right? We tune in, we react, we let their chatter fill the quiet spaces where our clarity should live. But you're exhausted, aren't you? Exhausted from carrying their voices, from bending to their buzz, from losing your calm to a world that never stops talking. It's not just noise, it's a storm, and you're caught in it. This isn't just a bad day, it's a betrayal, a slow surrender of your inner peace to the chaos outside. The psychology of it is stark. You listen because you're wired for connection, for belonging, for approval. That need pulls you in, makes you absorb their chatter to feel seen, to feel safe. Jamal lived it. Every like he chased, every critique he swallowed, was a plea to be enough. But enough for who? Not him. He was enough for them, but never for himself, not until he stepped away. You're doing it too, scrolling, nodding, adjusting, letting their noise drown your voice because you're afraid of the silence, afraid of what you'll find when the chatter stops. But silence isn't your enemy. It's your ally, waiting to show you who you are. The drama unfolds here, where the heart races and the air grows thick. You've lived in this storm, haven't you? Ears open, mind flooded, soul battered by the endless hum of their words. Jamal stood in that storm, scrolling through nights, reshaping himself to match their noise, until he saw the cost. His peace, his truth, his you. You're standing there too. Every time you've let a comment sink in, every time you've shifted to fit their frame, every time you've felt that twist of doubt you didn't earn. It's not their fault, it's yours. You've opened the gates, let their chatter flood your mind, let their voices sit where your wisdom should reign. But the storm's not your home, not yet. You're still here, still breathing, still holding a spark of the calm they haven't claimed. This is where it cuts, where the stakes loom like shadows on a wall. You hear it, don't you? That quiet cry beneath the noise, your soul begging for peace, for space, for you. Jamal heard it that weekend, alone with his thoughts, the chatter gone, his clarity rising like a tide. You hear it too. Every time you're pulled from yourself, every time their words outweigh your own, every time you feel the ache of a life lived for them, not you. It's not just distraction, it's a theft, a draining of the stillness you were born to carry. The world wants you loud, reactive, caught in its buzz, but you're not here for their storm. You're here for your calm, your truth, your peace. So what happens when you shut the gates, tune out the noise, and listen to you. This is your moment, your crossroads, your chance to see the truth. Jamal learned it, stepping away from the apps, the critiques, the endless hum, finding his voice in the quiet. You can learn it too. Look at the times you've drowned in their chatter, the posts you've lingered on, the advice you've followed, the judgments you've carried. What did it give you? A fleeting nod? A moment's approval? Or just more noise, more weight, more distance from yourself? The world's a chorus, shouting for your attention, but you're not here to echo. You're here to rise, to find the peace that comes when you ignore the clamor. So ask yourself, are you drowning in the noise? The answer's in your heart, waiting for you to listen. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Confucius' words carve through the clamor of our lives like a blade of truth, offering a path to peace in a world that never stops shouting. He didn't see silence as absence, but as presence, a space where wisdom blooms, where the soul finds its footing, where the chatter of others fades into irrelevance. What if ignoring the noise isn't weakness but power? What if the key to hearing your own truth lies not in joining the world's chorus, but in stepping away, in choosing the stillness that lets you rise above? You've been caught in their buzz too long, haven't you? Their opinions, their demands, their endless hum pulling you from your center. So let me ask you, what if silence is the throne where your peace reigns? Confucius' philosophy is a beacon, steady and unyielding. True strength lies in self-mastery, in cultivating a mind that listens to its own wisdom, not the world's noise. He taught that peace comes from within, from aligning with your values, from letting go of what doesn't serve your truth. The chatter, the judgments, the gossip, the relentless scroll of voices is a storm, and most drown in it, their thoughts swayed, their calm shattered. But silence? Silence is your shield, your sanctuary, your act of defiance against a world that demands your reaction. To ignore the chatter is to claim your mind, to stand as a sage in a sea of noise, rooted in a clarity others can't touch. Why do you let their storm rage when your peace is waiting in the quiet? The harsh truth cuts deep. You're not free if you let others' words dictate your thoughts. You're a prisoner to their noise. You've felt it, haven't you? The way a stray comment burrows into your mind, the way a post sparks doubt, the way their expectations twist your choices until you're not sure who you are. You're not just listening, you're absorbing, letting their chatter paint your world, letting their voices sit where your truth should rule. It's not freedom, it's bondage, a leash you've tied yourself with every time you've tuned in, reacted, cared too much. The world doesn't own your peace, but you've handed it over, haven't you? Every time you've let their noise outweigh your silence. Every time you've bent to their buzz instead of standing in your stillness. Why do you keep choosing chains when you could choose calm? This is where the drama rises, where the air grows heavy with possibility. Picture your mind as a temple, vast and sacred, meant for your wisdom, your truth. Right now, it's overrun. Their voices echo in its halls, their judgments scrawl on its walls, their demands crowd its altar. But it's yours, reader, yours to reclaim. Confucius saw silence not as emptiness, but as strength, a space where you hear yourself, where you align with what matters, where you rise above the fray. Most don't rise. They're swept away, their minds a marketplace of others' noise, their peace a casualty of their need to be seen, to be right, to belong. They'll live and die in that storm, calling it life, but it's less than they were born for, less than they could have been. What if you chose more? You're standing there now, at the gates of your own temple. I'm talking to you, right where your pulse quickens, right where your breath holds the truth. You felt the call, that pull to step away, to quiet the noise, to find the peace that's yours. You've also felt the drag, the urge to check, to respond, to let their chatter fill the silence because it's familiar, because it's safe. But safe isn't your name, is it? You're a seeker, a sage in waiting, a soul that knows there's more than this endless hum. You've drowned, haven't you? Every time you've let their words shape your day, every time you've cared too much about their likes, their sneers, their scripts. It's not strength, it's surrender, a betrayal of the calm you were born to carry. But surrender's not your fate, not yet. The stakes are towering, the tension a living thing. Confucius didn't just offer wisdom, he offered liberation, a way to live above the noise, to find peace in the stillness others fear. Silence isn't passive, it's active, a choice to guard your mind, to let the chatter fall like leaves you don't need to catch. Most don't choose. They'd rather swim in the storm, their thoughts a tangle of others' voices, their lives a reflex to what's loudest. They'll stay prisoners, not sages, because silence feels like risk, and risk feels like loss. But loss of what? A peace you've already lost? A you've already buried? You've buried yourself too, haven't you? Every time you've scrolled too long, every time you've let their judgment sting, every time you've traded your quiet for their chaos. This is where the fire sparks, where the world holds its breath. Your mind's a sanctuary, reader, and right now it's waiting for you to close the doors, to silence the crowd, to let your truth rise. Confucius' strength wasn't in shouting back. It was in standing still, in listening to the friend who never betrays. You can listen too, not to their noise, but to your wisdom, your values, your peace. Most won't. They'll stay caught, their temples overrun, their lives a string of reactions to what they could have ignored. They'll call it connection, but it's chaos. Chaos they chose because they feared the quiet. You're different, aren't you? You're here, feeling that spark, that ache to rise above. What happens when you ignore the chatter and claim the silence? This is your rebellion, your chance to live as Confucius did, not swayed, not shaken, but centered in a peace that's yours alone. The noise is loud, their opinions, their demands, their endless hum. But your silence is louder, a force that drowns their storm with calm. You're not powerless, you're distracted, a sage who's forgotten his temple. The chatter doesn't own you, not unless you let it. So why let it? Why let their words weigh more than your truth? Silence is your power, reader, your path to peace. Most will wander, lost in the noise, their lives a sigh of if only. But you're here now, awake. Step into the quiet, ignore the chatter, and watch how fast your temple becomes a throne where peace reigns supreme. What would change if you tuned out the noise and listened to your own wisdom? Imagine it, a mind clear as a still lake, undisturbed by the chatter of opinions, judgments, or demands, reflecting only the truth of who you are. Have you ever dared to ignore the buzz, to let the comments slide, the posts scroll past, the expectation dissolve, and felt the peace that follows? Or does the thought spark unease, a fear that pulling back means losing connection, relevance, control? Most people stay tethered to the noise, their thoughts a battlefield of others' voices, their peace a casualty of their need to respond. But ignoring the chatter? That's an art, a disciplined act of strength that carves a path to clarity and calm. So let me ask you, are you ready to master this art and find the peace that's yours? The philosophy is profound yet practical. Ignoring the chatter is a choice, a deliberate alignment with your inner truth over the world's clamor. Confucius taught self-mastery, not through fighting the noise, but through rising above it, rooting yourself in values that endure beyond the fleeting buzz of others' words. It's not about shutting out the world. It's about choosing what enters your mind, what deserves your time, what aligns with your purpose. To ignore is to guard your temple, to say, "My peace is sacred, and your noise doesn't get to trespass." Most don't guard, they invite, they absorb, they let the chatter shape their thoughts until their truth is a whisper beneath the storm. You've absorbed too, haven't you? Let their words sting, their demands pull, their opinions blur your own. What would it mean to choose silence instead? Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. Lao Tzu's words, like Confucius' teachings, point to the power of restraint, the wisdom of letting the noise pass without engaging. The art of ignoring isn't passive, it's active, a daily practice of discernment, of saying no to what doesn't serve you. It's setting boundaries, muting notifications, walking away from arguments that don't matter. Most lack this practice. They dive into the fray, their minds a swirl of reactions, their peace sacrificed to prove a point no one remembers. They think engaging shows strength, but true strength lies in stillness, in knowing when to listen and when to let go. You've engaged too, haven't you? Argued when you could have walked, scrolled when you could have rested, cared when you could have been free. Why keep fighting their battles when your peace is the prize? Let me tell you about Elena. She was 42, a teacher whose life was a chorus of noise. Students' complaints, colleagues' gossip, families' unsolicited advice. Elena prided herself on staying connected, always responding, always in the loop. But it drained her. Her evenings were spent on emails, her weekends on drama, her mind a tangle of others' voices. One day, a parent's harsh critique hit her hard. Instead of defending herself, Elena paused, took a breath, and let it go. She started small, ignoring group chats, skipping petty debates, spending lunch breaks alone with a book. The noise didn't vanish, but Elena did, into a quiet where she rediscovered her love for writing. Her students noticed her calm, her family respected her space, her soul felt light. Elena didn't lose by ignoring the chatter. She won peace, clarity herself. What could you win if you let go? You felt the weight, the exhaustion of reacting, the ache of absorbing every word, every slight, every demand. You know the moments when you've argued to be heard, scrolled to stay relevant, bent to their noise because it felt like duty. You've been their echo, resonating with their buzz. But what about your song? I see you, caught in their storm, your calm fraying, your truth buried under their clamor. You're not here to mirror their noise. You're here to rise, to find the stillness that makes you whole. So why do you keep listening when you could be free? This is where the fire sparks, where the stakes tower like cliffs against a roaring sea. The art of ignoring is a rebellion, a refusal to let the world's hum drown your voice. Most don't rebel, they conform. Their mind's a canvas for others' paint, their piece a footnote to others' needs. They'll stay reactive, their thoughts a reflex, their lives a string of I had to S, because ignoring feels like falling. Falling out of step, out of sight, out of safety. But falling where? Into yourself? Into your truth? Into a peace you've forgotten you deserve? You've fallen to, haven't you? Every time you've let their comments sink in. Every time you've answered when you wanted silence. Every time you've traded your calm for their chaos. But falling's not your fate, not yet. Feel the pulse of this, the drama cresting like a wave. Your mind's a sanctuary, reader, and right now it's waiting. Waiting for you to close the gates, to mute the noise, to let your wisdom breathe. Elena stood in her own sanctuary, once overrun by chatter, until she chose to ignore and found her pen, her peace, her power. You can choose too, not their arguments, but your stillness, not their demands, but your purpose. Lao Tzu's wisdom isn't distant. It's here, urging you to know, not speak, to be, not react. Most won't be. They'll stay swept, their sanctuaries crowded, their lives a blur of noise they could have ignored. They'll call it living, but it's less than they were born for, less than they could have been. This is your moment, your canvas, your chance to master the art. Ignoring the chatter starts now. Let the posts scroll by, let the critique fade, let the world's buzz hum without you. It's not easy. Guilt will tug, habit will pull, the noise will beg for your ear. But every ignored comment, every unopened message, every step into silence is a brushstroke, painting a life of peace, of power, of you. Elena painted hers, a life of words, calm, and a presence that glowed because it wasn't for everyone. You're not powerless, you're distracted, a sage waiting to rise. Most won't rise, they'll stay caught, their peace lost, their lives a sigh of if only. But you're here, reader, spark in hand. Ignore the chatter, master the art, and watch how fast your sanctuary becomes a throne where peace reigns. The world falls silent when you rise above its chatter and claim the peace of your own truth. It's not a whisper or a pause, it's a revolution, a radiant defiance that shifts the air, quiets the storm, and crowns you sovereign of your soul. You've been their echo, their reactor, their canvas for too long, painted over with opinions, judgments, and demands. But no more. Now you stand, a beacon of stillness, your mind a temple where their noise cannot trespass, your heart a flame that burns beyond their reach. Peace isn't just your refuge, it's your power, your throne. So let me ask you, can you stand in your stillness while the chatter fades, and live as the sage you were born to be? Most will drown in the noise, too afraid to seek the silence where true strength lies. They'll stay tethered to the buzz, the posts, the critiques, the endless hum of others' voices, because it's easier to react than to rise. You've seen them, frazzled, fractured, chasing approval in a world that never stops shouting. They're peace a ghost they can't name. They're not weak, they're unwilling, too scared of the quiet, too hooked on the clamor to claim their own calm. That's the trap of the chatter. It promises connection but delivers chaos, leaving you lost while others thrive on your attention. But you're not meant to drown. You're meant to soar, above the noise, into the peace that's your power. Why cling to their storm when your stillness is a crown? You've felt it, haven't you? The weight of their words, the churn of their judgments, the pull of their demands stealing your calm. You've been their sounding board, their target, their open book, pages torn by voices you didn't need to hear. It's left you ragged, hasn't it? Your peace fractured, your truth buried, your soul stretched thin by a world that loves your reaction. You're tired of scrolling, of caring, of being less than the sage you are. I see you, standing at this edge, your stillness waiting, your power ready to blaze. You're not their prisoner, you're a force, a wisdom, a calm they can't touch. Are you ready to claim it? This is where the fire ignites, where the stakes tower like mountains against a raging sky. Peace is your power, but it's hard one. A choice to ignore the chatter, to guard your mind, to stand in your truth while the world screams. Most won't choose. They'll stay caught, Their thoughts a reflex to every ping, every slight, every voice that doesn't matter. They'll call it living, but it's less, a half-life, a shadow of what could have been, because they fear the silence, the space, the strength of their own calm. You've been caught too, haven't you? Every time you've let their comments sting, every time you've scrolled instead of slept, every time you've traded your peace for their noise. But that's not your fate, not yet. Picture it. A life where you're not their echo but their wonder, not their canvas but their inspiration. You've been their mirror, reflecting their chaos, but mirrors can turn inward, can't they? The art of ignoring, rooted in Confucius' call to self-mastery, isn't retreat. It's ascent, a rise above the fray to a peace that commands respect. Most won't. They'll stay mired, their temples overrun, their lives a string of reactions to what they could have ignored. They'll fade, not because they're less, but because they never dared to be more. This is your rebellion, your throne, your fire. You're not here to answer their noise. You're here to forge your peace, thought by thought, choice by choice. The psychology of chatter traps you in fear. Fear of missing out, of being wrong, of being unseen. But unseen isn't your name. You're vast, radiant, a sage they haven't met yet. May met her radiance when she chose silence and watched her world transform. Not smaller, but deeper, not weaker, but stronger. You're next. Stop chasing their voices, start claiming your calm. Let go of their clamor, embrace your power. You'll lose some, the ones who thrived on your reaction, who fed on your attention, but you'll gain everything, your clarity, your strength, your you. So rise. Not tomorrow, not when it's safe now. Let the chatter fall like leaves you don't need to catch. The world's loud, but your peace is louder. A force, a flame, a truth no noise can shake. Confucius' path is yours. Ignore the clamor, guard your mind, live in the stillness that only comes from knowing yourself. Most will falter, too scared to seek the silence, too soft to claim their power. Not you. You're the spark in the storm, the calm in the chaos, the sage they didn't see coming. May claimed her peace and made the world her canvas. Your canvas is waiting, brighter, fiercer, yours. Step into your silence, unapologetic and radiant. Let your truth roar, your peace reign, your life be yours. Ignore the chatter, and let your power be your peace.